All right, we are on. We are live. Can you guys hear us? Can you see me? I see some messages coming through. Yes, we hear you. We're on. Yes, yes. All right. So this is Ryan, and we've got a great webinar for you tonight. We've got my friend Scott Colby, one of the top fitness professionals on the planet, and he's going to be talking about the top 7 deadly mistakes about losing belly fat and how to avoid them. Now, we're going to see if we have time at the end for questions and answers. I just don't know if we're going to be able to get to that. If not, you'll be able to probably reach Scott later on, ask questions, and if you're watching a replay, then again, I'm sorry that you're not going to be able to ask live questions, but I'm sure Scott is going to pack this with 100% meat because I did see Scott do a very similar presentation at a live event, and it's really good stuff. That's why we have him here tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to you, Scott, and I'll be on here. I might ask some questions. I might grill you if we have to, or if we get some questions popping in from the audience. But I'm turning it over to Scott Colby. Scott, it's all yours.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan, and thank you very much for having me. And I appreciate the audience for being here for this presentation. And again, like you mentioned, Ryan, it's the top 7 deadly mistakes about losing belly fat and how to avoid them. This is an important presentation because belly fat is something that most people struggle with, whether they want to look better or feel better, but it's also important as far as health is concerned, and it can be dangerous if you do have excess belly fat. So we'll go over everything, how you can look better, how you can avoid dangerous health issues throughout this presentation. We're going to get a lot of content covered. So appreciate you sticking with me until the end. And at the end, for doing so, what I'm going to be doing is revealing one drop-dead simple nutrition tip that'll have belly fat dripping off your body immediately. So that's going to be at the very end of the presentation. So you're going to make sure to want to stay until the end so you can get this one tip that you can implement right away. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Scott Colby. I'm an international best-selling co-author of a recent book called Total Bodies Breakthroughs, and I've created a number of other abs products and coaching programs online, Abs Uncrunched, Amazing Abs Formula, My First Six-Pack, and I have a blog called The Abs Expert. That picture of me on the left is me with my niece Cassandra in Virginia at my parents' house, so now you know a little bit about who I am. I am actually an ex-research nerd. That's not what I looked like in the past, but I just like that picture. It's kind of represents of the type of research that I did in the past. I used to work in a movement science lab doing a lot of biomechanics research. So I have a lot of years of experience in studying the way the body moves in athletic movements, fitness movements, things like that. And I've done various presentations as well. So I am very well versed at how to get a fit body, how the body works, and this really has helped me in my fitness career to apply some of this research that I've used, that I've had to conduct in the past. Now, I used to be just like you when I was doing my workouts. So for those of you who are working out currently, this may ring a bell. I used to drive about 15 to 20 minutes to the gym, and then I used to break up my workouts into body parts. So you may be doing it the same way. So for example, Monday was usually back and biceps day, and so I would train for about 1 hour using various machines and sometimes the dumbbells, doing various back and biceps exercises. And that would take about an hour. Then after that, I would jog for about 30 minutes on a treadmill. And then at the end of my workout, I would go to the back of the gym. So you probably have that at your gym where you have mats and abs gadgets, things like that. And I would do about 5 to 8 minutes of various types of crunches. And then I would drive 15 to 20 minutes home. So if you could see, this took about 2 hours out of my day just to go to the gym and get a workout in. And I would do this pretty consistently, about 4 to 5 times a week. And here's what I used to eat. I used to eat lots of cereal, so okay, definitely for breakfast and sometimes even for dinner. Usually sandwiches at lunch with baked chips, reduced fat crackers. On the weekend, I would get pancakes and waffles, some fruit, a little bit of vegetables. I'm pretty picky on my vegetables, though. Salads, chicken, turkey, pasta, pizza, frozen dinners, desserts, ice cream, and cookies. So I thought I was eating pretty healthy. You know, obviously the desserts weren't, but you know, sandwiches, cereals, reduced fat crackers, all this I thought was pretty healthy. And I was wondering, you know, why aren't I getting the results that I want? Because working out about an hour and a half in the gym and eating the way I was, you know what it led to? All it led to was a big belly. Now that's not me, but if you get the idea, I wasn't getting the results in the stomach that I wanted. You know, I was looking to get a flat stomach and six-pack abs, and I thought I was doing things right about 85% of the time, but I was not getting the results that I wanted. So this may ring home with you guys too, if you think, you know, you're doing the right things and eating low-fat snacks and cereals that on the front of the box they say they're heart healthy. You think they're healthy for you, but you're not getting the results in your stomach. So I'm going to tell you why you're not getting the results you want, and we'll show you how to get the results that you want. So me personally, I didn't get the results I wanted until I did some research. So what I did was I actually went out, I read a lot of articles, and then I put together a teleseminar series called Amazing Abs Formula, where I interviewed the world's top fat loss and abs experts, whether they were workout experts or diet experts, mindset experts. I interviewed as many people as I could, and I learned from them. Then I changed my mindset, which is very important, and we'll talk about that. I changed my workout, so I was no longer working out 90 minutes a day. I changed my diet, and then in just a span of 12 weeks, I tracked everything. I took before and after pictures. I made a dramatic difference in my body. And this is a before and after picture of me. This was a 12-week before and after transformation that I put myself through. So I want to go into how this presentation came about, because as I got into the fitness industry and I began talking to more and more people, most people ask me questions about how to get rid of their belly fat, how to get a flat stomach, how to get six-pack abs. In one form or another, I was getting a lot of questions about how to, you know, get flat abs. And so what I did is I took everybody on my email list and I sent out a survey. And I asked 5 questions in the survey. I asked my list, what's your single biggest frustration to losing belly fat? What have you tried so far that hasn't worked for you? What is your biggest fear when it comes to having excess belly fat? What worries you, and what are you afraid will happen if you don't do something immediately about your excess belly fat? And what would you be willing to do to get rid of your excess belly fat? So I took all these answers from the survey, and I came up with this presentation. I think it's going to help you a lot. So things that we sometimes don't talk about in the fitness industry very much are, what are your fears? Of course, we all want to look good and have a nice lean body, but really, what are your fears? So I asked that question to my list, and a lot of people had some pretty interesting answers, not just how they look, but other health issues. So some of the answers that came back to me were they feared that their unhealthy habits were taking a strain on their heart. They looked pregnant, or like they just had kids. They were afraid of a heart attack, back issues. They were afraid that they wouldn't see their kids get married and grandkids grow up. They were afraid of that fat glob in the internal organs. When you sit down, you may have a roll of fat showing. Diabetes, stroke, knee pain. Don't want to get too old to lose it. So some people thought the older you get, the harder it is to lose your belly fat. Some people want to be a role model to their family. They feared health dangers, heart disease, blood pressure is going up. Spouse is critical. Gaining 5 pounds every year is adding up. People are fearing cancer, belly hangs over, you feel older, you have no confidence, you're not dating, and even you fear death. So these are some of the fears that people that I've talked to had, and you may have these same fears about having excess belly fat. So let's go into a couple of the health issues first before we get into the good stuff and figure out how to get rid of your belly fat. So unfortunately, they're showing now that belly bulge can be deadly for older adults, even those whose weight is normal. So a lot of people have a, quote, normal weight, so they're not really overweight, but they have excess belly fat, and now they're saying that that can be even deadly. So it's not all about your weight. You got to look at where you're carrying that fat and storing it. So a new study from the Archives of Internal Medicine shows that excess belly fat can be deadly for older adults, even those who aren't overweight or obese by other measures. And it's one of the largest studies to examine the dangers of abdominal fat. Suggests men and women with the biggest waistlines have twice the risk of dying over a decade compared to those with the smallest waist. Okay, so this shows you that, yes, having extra belly fat doesn't look good, but it poses quite a health risk as well. So let's go into the meat of this presentation. I want to teach you the top 7 deadly mistakes about losing belly fat and how to avoid them. And, you know, we are going to touch on some of the exercise and diet tips that it's going to help you, but we're also going to touch on some things that not too many fitness experts are talking about, and they're not ones that you may think are very important, but believe me, all 7 of these things that we're going to go over, you need to be doing all 7 of them to have the highest highest chance of success in losing your belly fat. So again, some of these beginning ones you might think, well, I don't need them, but you actually do, and it's actually, they could be some of the most important tips I'm going to be giving you, even more important than the exercise and diet tips. So deadly mistake number 1, not finding your why. So when I start working with a client or a coaching member, what I ask them to do first is to write down a specific goal and then to write down why they want to accomplish that goal. So since you're listening to this presentation, your goal may be to lose belly fat, and you would need, you know, something more specific than that. You may be, I want to lose 4 inches from my belly in the next 3 months. Well, then after you have that concrete goal, you need to find out your why. Why do you want this? And it's got to be something emotional and motivational. So it can't just be to look better, or I want to look good on the beach, because if that was a strong enough reason, we'd all have flat stomachs, because everybody wants to look good on the beach. So your why should be emotional enough to you so that you are motivated to stick with it. Saying I want 6-pack abs to look good isn't good enough. So think of ways you can add more passion or emotion to your reasons why you want to lose belly fat. Keep peeling the layers of the onion till you find that reason why. And I'm going to give you some example whys. You know, these may not apply to you, but it may start giving you some ideas on how your whys can be stronger. So these are people that I've worked with specifically in coaching programs. I had a client named James that I worked with. He said, my reason is that I want to survive to contribute for years to come in the lives of my wife, children, and especially grandchildren, and to continue to achieve my life's purpose, which I know I have not completely done to this point. I worked with a woman named Rose. She said, I'm scared, depressed, and frustrated beyond belief. I desperately need to lose weight in order to get my health in order and hopefully get off all the medicine I'm on, and no one seems to be able to or want to help me. I will be retiring January 3, 2013, and want to be healthy and able to travel and enjoy myself for whatever time I have left. I do not want to have to be hospitalized and live my life out in a nursing home just because I cannot lose weight. I'm hoping this program and encouragement from all of you will help me to be healthy enough to get as much as I can out of the rest of my life. Doris said, I want to not only be around for my children, but also be able to play, do things physically with my kids, and be an excellent role model for them through their whole lives, and that we would have long, healthy, fit, excellent lives. It's about being really healthy and letting this be the norm with my children to empower us to have extraordinary quality of life. I'm able to run, play, climb, swim, etc. with my kids, and want to keep doing these things throughout my life with them, grandchildren, and beyond. So a lot of my clients, they find out what they value in life, and a lot of times it's family related, kids related, grandkids related, and then they tie what they value to their goal of losing belly fat. And this was actually just came up yesterday. I'm working with a woman named Natalie, and she actually did my workout, but then she's also training for a long run. So she had to run 4 miles, and she said she was still sore from this morning's workout and tired from the workday. She didn't feel like jogging. She didn't want to do her 4 mile run. So what she did, she started to think about why I'm running. She's raising money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, which is, why her picture shows that she's in training. And she thought about her honor teammate, who was a 6-year-old girl named Navaya. She was in remission, but now her cancer is back and she is really sick. She has a fever and infection and cannot sleep. She was supposed to have a bone marrow transplant, but is too sick for that. She's been in a great deal of pain, and the doctors don't know what is going on. So I thought about Navaya, and I thought that she would give anything to get out of the hospital and run. And I figured that any pain that I have is nothing compared to her pain. So I figured that I would either jog 4 miles or until it gets dark or till an hour passes. So she said, without thinking about Navaya, the little girl who has cancer, I wouldn't have jogged tonight. So think about your whys and let that push you. And if your why isn't big enough, think about Navaya. So these are just really good examples of creating an emotional why, something that's, you're going to come up with obstacles and barriers and temptations to hold you back from reaching your goal of losing belly fat. And that's when you got to really reach into your heart and your mind and think about your why and revisit it on a daily basis. Now, for me, I don't have kids, but I do have a niece, Cassandra, and a nephew, Benjamin. And I want to be healthy for them so I can see them grow up and be good role models for them. So I want to be a good uncle to them, and that's one of my whys. So really dig down deep. This is an action step you can take. Write down 3 things you want to change about your body. Find your why and write it down. And list at least 2 things that you are giving up by not being more fit or having a body you can be happy in. What is it costing you? Another good thing is visualization. So imagine this. What if you were walking around with the exact body you wanted? How would you look? How would you feel? Would you be more confident and have more energy? Imagine all the compliments you're going to get, and imagine the way your spouse looked at you. Imagine getting promotions at work and not having to worry about your health. And imagine being able to play with your kids or grandkids without getting out of breath. So once you figure out your why and you do this visualization technique of imagining living a day in your ideal body and your ideal health, you're going to go a long way in achieving your goals once you do these 2 things. Here's a story of Lisa. This is a pretty amazing story. So Lisa was actually somebody, I run fitness adventures, and she came to my first fitness adventure in Estes Park, Colorado. And last May, she looked in the mirror and she was very unhappy with what she saw. She was overweight, and despite having a gym membership, she never exercised. So as luck would have it, she was actually searching on the internet as far as how could she change her life, not just her weight, but her life overall, and give herself a challenge and a kickstart. So she found my Fitness Adventures website and signed up immediately. She lost 12 pounds on the 5-day fitness adventure and 61 pounds overall in about 6 months. But even probably better than that, she's gotten 2 promotions at work. She's dating more. She's in a really loving relationship, has more speaking engagements, is running. She signed up for the Warrior Dash, and she can keep up with her grandkids now. She hikes mountains. She has higher self-esteem. So her whole life has changed. So imagine, when you're imagining yourself in that ideal body and how you're going to go throughout your day, just imagine the other areas of your life that are going to improve as well. Deadly mistake number 2, not having your hormones in balance. So this is something that's not talked about a lot either. So one of the things when I asked people who follow my newsletter, what is your single biggest frustration when trying to lose belly fat? So many people say, I eat healthy and I exercise, but nothing seems to work. So you may be listening to this webinar and think, hey, that's exactly like me. I've tried everything and nothing actually works. What's going on? Well, it could be that your hormones are out of whack. Your hormones may be out of balance due to your age, or you may have a damaged metabolism because of years of dieting. your hormones are what adjust your energy, cravings, and hunger, which affect what you choose to eat later in the day, and whether or not you are motivated to exercise. So kind of all these things can play a role. So you might have one hormone out of balance, which causes you not to sleep very well. That can in turn cause you to have low energy, cause you to choose the wrong foods, cause you not to want to exercise. So it can really develop into a pretty vicious cycle. So rebalance your hormones. One of the things you could do is rebalance them through the foods that you eat, by managing your stress, and by controlling your cravings and the type of exercising you do. So this is Karen is somebody that I worked with, and she updated, really cool update. It wasn't anything about weight. She said, I had a great week. Since I've been following the meal plan, I felt so much better. For at least 10 years, I've had to take medicine every 4 to 6 hours for headaches. For 10 years. I couldn't believe that when I read it. And for the last 2 weeks, I have not had to take medication for head pain. My attitude is also so much better. So just by making some small shifts in her diet, she was able to get off headache medicine. And these are the types of success stories that I always love to hear. It's somebody whose life was completely changed in just a couple of weeks. Exercise less, not more. So the typical weight loss model that you may be following, and what I used to follow, believes that the more exercise you do, the better. However, exercising longer does not always mean you will burn more calories, and it can actually also disrupt the hormones responsible for determining whether you burn mostly fat or mostly sugar. So you really have to be careful as far as the amount and type of workouts you're doing, and we'll talk about the right way to exercise in a little bit here. Actually, shorter and more intense exercise helps to keep the hormones in balance and allows for an increased fat calorie afterburn long after the workout has ended. I'll be giving you a sample workout, but that's what you want to focus on. You know, in most of the day, we're not working out, right? We're going about our business at work or hanging out with friends, playing with our kids, and you'd like to still be burning calories from your workout. And so we'll show you the best way to train so that you can burn calories all day long. Here's an action step. The next time you have low energy or have cravings or hunger, stop what you're doing and take out a piece of paper. What we want to do is try to pinpoint what's going on. So write down how long ago it was that you ate, what you ate, and if you had any stress that day. The idea here is going to become, you want to become more aware when your hormones are not balanced, so you can take action to balance them again. So that's kind of the first step, is to, once you have low energy or cravings or hunger, figure out when you ate last, what you ate, and if you had any stress that day. And that might give us some good insight as to what's going on with your hormones being out of whack. Here's deadly mistake number 3, and I've been guilty of this one, relying on willpower. To control your cravings, you must change your mind. You must change in your mind the association of the food to something painful. Okay, so this is a technique that I'm going to show you that I learned from one of my fitness colleagues. And actually, this is sometimes I crave this. Here on the picture is this chocolate ice cream dessert. But here's a technique that he showed me and told me about how to stop craving.
I can't wait to see this.
So he said, take a food that you enjoy, such as chocolate. You know, I picked that one when he was walking me through the technique. And imagine eating it how you enjoy it the most. So if you're like ice cream out of a pint, eating a candy bar, enjoying a piece of cake with lots of frosting, you know, how do you enjoy it the most? Maybe you enjoy ice cream off of an ice cream cone. Imagine eating it in front of a mirror, watching yourself eat it. Now, imagine eating it in front of a mirror while standing on a scale, and you're still eating that treat. And finally, imagine eating it in front of a mirror while you were standing on a scale with no clothes on. That's a pretty powerful image. So what we're doing here is linking the behavior with the result. So gaining excess belly fat is the result, and we're linking that with the behavior. So your action step now is to practice this technique the next time you crave a food that isn't healthy for you, and write down how you were feeling when you first craved the food, and again after going through this technique. All right, so deadly mistake number 4, eating foods with too many ingredients. So I have a pretty simple nutrition philosophy, and that is eat single ingredient foods and foods with as few ingredients as possible. So example of single ingredient food. So what we mean by this is the food is literally just the food itself. So if you look at a carton of eggs, there's no ingredients in eggs except eggs. Same thing with spinach, apples, oatmeal. The food is the ingredient. Chicken, turkey breast, sweet potatoes, salmon, almonds, strawberries, blueberries, walnuts. There's so many foods that are very natural. They haven't been processed. They're single ingredient. You want to make the majority of your diet consist of these foods. When you do this, you're going to, if you're not doing this already, just this one change could make all the difference of the world as far as losing belly fat pretty quickly. I will give you one more nutrition tip towards the end, like I promised. But this is a good one to follow if you're not doing it already. So this is going to be hard to read. You don't have to read this whole thing. I just wanted to prove a point. So remember towards the beginning when I said I used to eat a lot of cereal for breakfast and sometimes dinner? I thought cereal was healthy for me because a lot of them, if you can see, you know, I'm not trying to pick on this one particular cereal, but this says Smart Start. So you think, oh, I'm having a smart start to my day. It says heart healthy on the box or has a lot of fiber. You think, oh, it's got to be healthy. This is just an ingredient list, this what you're seeing on the screen, of just this one cereal here. And as you can see, there's a lot of junk. So if you're eating cereal, most likely you're putting a lot of junk in your body. And so what is kind of cool is I recommended to people, don't keep a food log. So, you know, saying, hey, I ate cereal for breakfast, that could be your food log, but that doesn't really tell the story. So I challenge people to keep an ingredient log. Write down all the ingredients of the foods that you're eating. And that's, you know, if you're eating foods like this, or the next one here, like if you're eating like reduced fat crackers, your hand's going to fall off keeping this ingredient log. Now, if you are eating the natural single ingredient foods, you know, like eggs, oatmeal, strawberries, chicken, your hand's not going to fall off. You're not going to have much to write. But if you're eating foods like what I'm showing here, you're going to be writing all day long. So we want to count ingredients, not calories. So I'm not big on counting calories because that's tedious. It's not fun. Most times it's inaccurate anyway. I mean, if you had you know, chips and guacamole out at a restaurant, how are you going to know exactly how many calories you ate? So I tell people count ingredients and not calories, so that's not very tedious. Just look at the package and count how many ingredients there are. But if you want to take it a step further, keep an ingredient log, and if you get tired of writing, hopefully you'll change your ways and start eating more unprocessed foods. And this was actually, probably didn't even have room for a picture. This was some sort of one of those frozen like lean cuisine dinners. So we all always think these frozen dinners that have the word, you know, lean in it, or some other word that makes it look like we're getting healthy, but they're not. So look how many ingredients in just this one frozen dinner here.
Oh, that looked all natural.
I just want to show you a couple
Scott,
along the way.
That was all natural.
Showed you Lisa, who went on my fitness adventure. I just want to give examples of people that I worked with. So it's pretty cool to see these transformations. This was one of my boot camp members, and when she first trained with me, she wasn't really sure what to expect. She was overweight. She had never been athletic. In less than a year of working with me, she lost over 61 pounds and 26 inches attending my boot camp classes, eating a nutrient-rich meal plan. It's pretty cool now because she's lost up about 85 pounds total, and now she like runs half marathons. She's a big runner and one of my boot camp rock stars now when I was teaching them in Dallas. So I like sharing these success stories. And then Jo was in her mid-50s. She was great. We lived in the same apartment complex in Dallas, and we just met randomly in the parking garage. I was carrying my stability ball, and she attended my boot camps, and she lost a lot of dress sizes. and she was in her 50s, but she's feeling now like she did in her 30s. So I always like it when people feel a lot younger and move better as well. So try this. Back to the nutrition and single ingredient tip. Eat only single ingredient foods for the next 3 days and keep an ingredient log. After you eat, write down how you feel 30 to 60 minutes after each meal. Are you more energized? Are you still full? Do you feel satisfied? Are the cravings gone? This is a great technique to do, because if you're eating a lot of processed foods, there's a good chance an hour later after you eat, you're going to start craving things, or you're going to be hungry again because your blood sugar gets all out of whack. When you eat these single ingredient foods, you're eating really nutrient-rich foods, and you stabilize your blood sugar levels, causing you to crave less snacks and also to feel more full and satisfied. Deadly mistake number 5, your workouts aren't intense enough. So if you walk into any gym, what do you see? You usually see all the cardio equipment packed and used. I actually, where I live now in Colorado, there's an apartment building next to mine, and every time I walk by it, I can look into their gym. And the cardio equipment is always packed there. And then I glance over to the weights and the dumbbells, and there's usually like nobody there or one person there. So you see you often will see the same person. If you use a gym, they'll be walking on a treadmill week in and week out for months and months and really don't see any change in their body. Hey, I use the same picture again. The science of intense exercise. So there is science about why intense exercise works. A research group in 2001 showed that a circuit resistance training program using heavy weights and short rest period, I love this style of training, lasting only 31 minutes long, they were able to elevate fat-burning metabolism for 48 hours. So what that just means is they're burning calories for 48 hours after the workout is done. So that's when I said, most of our day isn't spent working out, it's spent doing other things. So we need to find a way to elevate your metabolism so you can burn more calories on all the other parts of the day that you're not working out. So this is one way to do it. Do a circuit resistance training program using heavy weights and short rest period. So metabolism, metabolism 1 and 2 days after exercise was 21% and 19% higher respectively. So for the same study, for a typical 180-pound individual, this equates to 773 calories burned in the 2 days after exercise simply resting. Okay, so a 180-pound person was burning 773 more calories in just the 48 hours after the workout was done. So 3 30-minute sessions like this can drastically reduce the exercise time while increasing fat loss, which is definitely a smarter, more efficient way to exercise. So that's kind of what I learned when I was interviewing a lot of the fat loss experts out there, was learning for smarter ways to train, where we're all time crunched, so we want to definitely not work out 90 minutes or 2 hours in the gym. We want to figure out how to work out smart, so your workouts are shorter, maybe even not even going to the gym, and getting you actually better results. Another type of training, you may have heard, there's different names for this. I call it weight-based interval training, but it's been called like metabolic resistance training. It just means you're using weights, but you're doing it in an interval training fashion. So, which means you're working out hard, then resting, working out hard, and resting. A 2008 study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research showed that a workout that alternates interval cardio bursts and heavy weight training burns almost 10 times more fat than the same workout done by separating the cardio for the weight. So this is interesting. So just by combining the two modes of exercise, interval cardio and weight training, versus the type of workout that I used to do, all weight training followed by cardio after that, you're going to burn 10 times, almost 10 times more fat. So that's an amazing finding right there. So here's an action step for you. Try this workout. Okay, so you want to start trying workouts and doing workouts where you're interspersing weight training with cardio, or just doing weight training in a circuit fashion, taking little rests so your heart rate gets up. So I like to do what I call quad sets, which are 4 straight exercises in a row. So I like taking an upper body exercise followed by a lower body, followed by one that's more for the core, and then a conditioning movement. So an example would be push-ups for your upper body, squats for your lower body, mountain climbers for your core, or excuse me, mountain climbers for the conditioning, also working your core, but then Russian twists that get your core a lot harder. So just try 12 reps of each exercise, performing as many rounds as you can in 20 minutes. I love another reason I love this style of workout. It's individualized, meaning a more fit person can probably do more rounds in 20 minutes than a beginner. So you rest as you need to, but as soon as you can start back into the circuit, you continue on. So that way anybody can do this type of workout, and you'll get this is an intense workout. It doesn't seem like it. People always, they hear this and then they ask me, like, are you sure I can get results in just 20 minutes? I'm like, yes. Everybody that I'm telling you about their results, they're doing 20-minute circuits just like this. This is another person that went through my boot camps, Amy, and we started training like this. She took my boot camps, but I also trained her one-on-one. 3 years ago, she said her life changed forever. I was an obese, unhappy, and confused girl, and then she met me. After a year of losing some weight on her own, I teamed up with Scott. The workouts that I was doing on my own were somewhat long and boring. It was hard for me to get motivated to go to the gym. Scott changed my mindset about working out. He showed me how to make workouts more intense with less time and double the results. I loved the workouts so much they were fun. No motivation was required. I went from a size 26 to a size 14. So that before-after picture you see on the top, that's not even her. She actually had a before picture than that. So she lost some weight on her own. So she was bigger than that before picture there. Lost some weight on her own. Then I started working her, and her life completely changed after that. She said, Scott Colby is a great teacher and a wonderful motivator. Without him and his amazing support group that cheered me on, I probably would have given up and stayed that obese, unhappy, and confused girl, but now I am a fit, educated, and excited about life girl. So another, I love hearing those stories. Deadly mistake number 6, and this is probably one a lot of people are still doing. You're doing crunches. So if anybody listening and watching this webinar are doing crunches, don't do them anymore starting now. You could do crunches all day long. Look at this guy doing crunches. He looks like he's in pain. He's got a lot of belly fat. You'll see people doing, his shirt's popped open. And you'll see a lot of people doing this at the gym. And even on infomercials. So don't fall for those infomercials that are telling you to relax in a lounge chair and just crunch up and down while you're watching TV. That's not going to get you a flat belly. You can do crunches all day long, you're not going to get anywhere. Why do people do them? Well, number one, they're lazy. It's pretty easy to lay on the floor and move your head up and down. But a recent study testing abdominal activation with various exercises showed an interesting trend. The most activation occurred when the abs were used as stabilizers. So you see this girl in this photo, she's doing a plank, her abs are being used as a stabilizer, as opposed to a prime mover. In other words, exercise like the planks and the ab wheel work the abs harder than crunches or reverse crunches. So therefore, you need various types of stabilization work in your routine to get maximum results. So you can start with an isometric, meaning a plank hold like this, and then add some different movements later on as you get more comfortable with this type of movement. The other thing, crunches are actually dangerous to the spine. They put a huge shear and compressive force on your spine, and that can cause herniated disc. Research is finding that overuse of that motion can result in long-term lower back pain due to the pressure put on the disc. So not only do crunches not get you any removal of belly fat, they're also dangerous on your back. So stop doing them immediately. So your action step is easy. Stop doing crunches and do full body movements using your abs as stabilizers while simultaneously strengthening your muscles and getting your heart rate up. So even just doing movements like push-ups and squats, your abs are being used to stabilize your body, helping you stay in the right position So do those types of movements. And so those, like the 4 movements that I had in that example quad set, those actually work your abs. Each of those movements works your abs as a stabilizer. You want to be doing those types of exercises. And then deadly mistake number 7, all right? We're down to our final mistake, doing it alone. So what do I mean by this? Research shows that getting social support is one of the most important secrets to sticking to a weight loss program. A study from Stanford said that the most important thing you could do while on a weight loss program is to have some sort of accountability to a health professional. It could be your trainer, doctor, or nutritionist, but the bottom line is you need to be checking in with someone on a regular basis and letting them know that you are sticking to the plan. So I'm not going to read all these through, but these are comments from people that have been through my coaching programs, and what I usually do is I'll put them in a support group, like a Google group or a Facebook group, something where they can interact with not only me, but the other members of the community. So just like the one on top, since it's short, I can read it. I will have to say that I've received far more from this program than I ever dreamed I could. I know how a good fat-burning program should work, and I've gotten far more support than I ever dreamed from Scott and from the group. And I'll just the second one, it's long, but the first line you can see, I really did not think that the support group would be much help, but I can see now that this support group has made a great difference in what I've done. This is probably one of the missing links in the diet I've been on before. So most people think that, hey, I don't need support. As long as I have the workouts and the diet, I can get through it on my own. But I'm finding time and time again, I just released a new coaching program, and everybody on there is commenting on how great the support is and how much they need the support. So you could think about anything you've done in life and been successful on, you've probably had some support, either of your family or friends or professional support of your colleagues or just other people going through the exact same thing. So I urge you not to do it alone, but to find somebody to go through this with. And then here's a couple more people who commented on support. Jane said, I think the support we are getting from you and each other is the best point in this program. And then Gina, I agree with you about the support group. It has really been super helpful in keeping me on track and focus. It gives a whole new meaning to accountability. So I urge you to do this. Join a support group. You can find lots of various support groups online through meetup.com, online forums, even Facebook groups, Facebook pages, or just find an accountability partner to check in with. You want to find somebody that's going to be supportive. So, if you have a spouse that maybe is not into eating healthy or not into working out, you may need to just kind of go outside of the family and find somebody who has the same mindset as you. Find somebody that you can work out with, or even if it's just an email check-in, or a text check-in, I find that helps really well. Just check in with each other and say, hey, how'd your workout go today? Did you get it done? What are you eating for your meals? Stuff like that. And that's going to make a big difference in helping you achieve your goal. And this is an example of another before and after picture of Gina. So a lot of people, they tell me, well, I'm past 40 and it's too late to lose belly fat. So some people have the mindset that you get to be a certain age where you can't get the results. This is Gina who went through one of my 12-week programs. She was 46, and she was good. She followed it to a T, and she got a pretty amazing result in her abs. She didn't think she could. I mean, she was very strong to begin with, but didn't have the type of stomach that she wanted to see. So she actually got some great results there. And then Doris, another woman that went through one of my programs, she went from almost 34% body fat to 24, lost 21 pounds of fat and gained 14 pounds of lean body mass, lost 35 total inches from 16 measurement sites, and for 12 straight weeks, she lost body fat and inches. And James lost 12 pounds in 12 weeks and 4 inches above the waist. He was the person that was doing this to be, a good role model for his grandkids and wanted to be able to play with them. He actually had prostate cancer surgery, so he had a bigger picture in mind when he wanted to lose the belly fat, and that really helped keep him going. And you know, he was a big part of one of my programs that I put together. All right. Well, I didn't really lead into this very gracefully, but our drop-dead simple nutrition tip. We're getting down to the end of the presentation here.
It's very subtle.
Sticking on for the entire webinar. Here's a drop-dead simple nutrition tip. Besides that single ingredient food, which is going to give you good results, here's one that's easy. You don't have to count anything except the number of sugar grams that you're eating on a daily basis. So I find probably our biggest obstacle to getting to having excess belly fat as far as nutrition goes is just simply consuming too much sugar. Quite simply, excess sugar leads to excess belly fat. And I've done this strategy with several of my clients, and it's funny because I always hear when they track their sugar content, they always are very surprised how much sugar they're eating. It's very easy to overconsume on sugar. It's in almost everything we eat. That's where it comes back to eating those natural and single ingredient foods. So I find that if you can drop, this is a tough one, but try this for 7 straight days. Consume 15 grams of sugar or less daily. Not only are you going to find your belly fat, your belly getting flatter, you know, your belly fat getting removed, almost immediately you're going to see results. But you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to, you know, if you have headaches, those may go away. If you have mood swings or a lot of stress or erratic sleep or not much energy, that's going to improve. So just consuming 15 grams of sugar or less daily is a nutrition tip that won't just help your belly fat, but that's going to help in all areas of your health. So that's a nutrition tip for you to take away, as well as the other 7 tips that we've shared in this webinar. Now, if you just give me a couple minutes, I wanted to let you in on how you can get in on one of my coaching programs. I've got one called My First Six Pack. It's my most popular program. It's a complete system to getting a flat stomach and 6-pack abs. And if you liked what I shared with you in this presentation, you can get more of this and actually take action. I'll coach you along the way for 16 weeks and make sure you get the results that you want. So here's what you get in the My First Six-Pack program. It's got 4 components to it. Video coaching lessons. So I find that, and people that I've talked to, I've learned that just kind of sending you a program with a diet and exercise isn't enough. You want to be coached on a weekly basis. So you like to have somebody there coaching you. It's usually will get you better results rather than just kind of doing it all on your own. So we talked about how important support is. So each week I'll have a new video coaching lesson waiting for you. So it's going to come into your email, and then you'll be directed to a website where a new video coaching lesson will be waiting for you. So it's going to be like me coaching you personally. And we'll go through different motivational strategies, nutrition strategies, goal-setting strategies, workout strategies, really any type of aspect that you need to get results in getting 6-pack abs or just a flat stomach. You're going to be coached through it with weekly video coaching lessons. Number 2, you're going to get downloadable weekly ab-revealing workouts. And so these are things that you can take to the gym if you'd like, or you can just print them out and follow along at home. These workouts are ones that you can do at home, so you don't have to rely on any machines at the gym. So if you're the type of person that don't like to go to the gym, you can stay at home and do these workouts. No guesswork on your part. You just follow the plan that I've laid out for you. So it's really step-by-step, a blueprint for you to follow for the 16 weeks. Then you're going to get weekly workout videos. So I found, the other thing that I found is a lot of people, if they just look at the pictures of the downloadable workouts, a lot of times they're not sure how to do a certain exercise. And so if you're the type of person that is not good at kind of figuring out what the pictures, you might see the beginning stage of an exercise and the middle part, but you don't know what to do in between, don't worry, I'm going to have a new video each week. And that's going to show you exactly how to perform each exercise with absolute perfection. So you won't have any trouble learning how to do each exercise. And then the My First Six-Pack Daily Meal Planner Companion Guide. So I find that a lot of people, they just want to be told what to eat. So I'm going to tell you exactly what to eat with a 30-day meal plan. And it's going to be exactly what meals to eat, when to eat them. It's going to have sample breakfast, snacks, smoothies, lunches, and dinner. Step-by-step instructions for each tasty and fat loss friendly recipe created by a registered dietitian. So this is going to be coming to you in the My First Six Pack program as well. So that's it. It's 4 components to it. I'm going to be there with you for 16 straight weeks. Video coaching lessons, downloadable workouts, videos of all the workouts, an exact 30-day meal plan of what you should be eating. But anyway, yeah, so Ryan, thank you for having me, and audience has been great. It's hopefully everybody's learned a lot. Even if you just take these 7 strategies plus the bonus nutrition strategy, you're going to feel a lot better and get some really good results. So I appreciate everybody watching this webinar, and I hope you learned a lot.
Yeah, well, there was a couple questions. Let me just run through here. One is, it's long, but I'll just basically summarize. They've done a lot of fitness programs. They haven't had success. Basically they're asking you, is there some type of money-back guarantee?
Yeah, there definitely is. There's a 60-day guarantee on this program, so that means you essentially can go through half of it, and if it's something that's not for you, if things aren't working out, just please let me know, and we'll give you a full refund. I'll work with you if there's something that you need tweaked. That's kind of, I pride myself in being available if you need something more customized. So you can get in contact with me, and if you need something more customized to you, whether it's the workouts or the support or the diet, I'll do my best to help you there. But yeah, if there's just something that's not working for you, that's no problem. We'll be glad to issue a refund within the first 60 days.
And that's more than fair. And look, I've got to say, I've known you for a long time, Scott, and I would never have you on a webinar for my members if I didn't trust you, and I know you're going to take good care of people. This question is from Mark. Doesn't say where he's from, but he wanted to know, is this program for men or women?
This is actually for both. I've worked with both men and women, and it's actually for, I hate to say this, but it's really for any fitness level too. There's different exercises you could do depending on fitness level. And there's also, if you remember that example circuit, which took you through a 20-minute 4-exercise circuit, the way that's also tailored to fitness level is the more advanced people can just go through as many, more rounds in that 20 minutes than the beginners. But yeah, I find that I get, we're all born to move the same way, whether it's pushing or pulling or climbing or lunging or running. And so I train my clients through different movement patterns, and that way it works well for both men and women.
There was a question, but I think you already answered this. I mean, you kind of did. He said, let's see, this is from Amy, and basically she's asking, is this just exercise, just nutrition, or both?
Yeah, it's definitely both. So you get a meal plan laid out for the first 30 days. That was designed by a registered dietitian, so it'll tell you breakfast, snacks, lunches, and dinners, what to eat. And then you get work. We'll also, in the coaching lessons, we're going to teach you other things so you can start to create your own meal plan. So we'll teach you how to read a food label and what ingredients to look for, what you should start to avoid. So we're going to not only give you the meal plan, but teach you how you can create your own meal plan for beyond this program. And then, yeah, you definitely get 16 weeks of workouts as well. So the way my workouts work is every 2 weeks, I change up the workout. So you're not going to get bored. You're going to get different workouts coming to you every couple of weeks. And then within the week, the workouts are different. So you're not going to be doing the same thing like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay, here's another question. Speaking of workouts, Gail asked, she basically has a couple of kids. She doesn't have a lot of time. Approximately how long do these workouts take?
The workouts are short. Like the shortest workouts in there are 20 minutes long. Some of them, yeah, they're in general they're about between 20 and 30 minutes long. And since she has kids, she may not even be able to go to the gym. So these are workouts that you could definitely stay home and do as well. So if your kids are playing around and you're working out, then you'll be fine. You won't have to find a babysitter to go to the gym or anything like that. So between 20 and 30 minutes long, and you can do these at home as well.
Yeah. We actually read the next person's mind because their question was they don't have access to a gym, so can they do this at home? But you basically just said they can. Do they need a lot of
these
equipment?
are definitely done at home. There are a couple pieces of portable equipment. You'll need like a stability ball. But if you don't have anything and need like an alternative, there's very few exercises that actually require any equipment, but a couple of them like, stability ball or a jump rope. If you don't have that, we'll just substitute something for you that you do have.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're actually out of time, so if you guys have more questions, you contact Scott. But to learn more about this program, Scott's complete 6-pack program with the nutrition, with the exercise, all the great stuff that Scott just went over, just click that big button on this page. You can't miss it. There's a big button right there. Click it, and it'll take you right over to Scott's page, and you can sign up and get started, and they get instant access to it, right, Scott?
Yep, it's instant access, so you can get started right away.
So literally within like 2 minutes from now, you can get started. So click on the button. And Scott, thanks so much for being here tonight. I appreciate it. Everyone, round of applause. Well, you can't hear them because they're muted. But Scott, thank you so much. This is Ryan signing off. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.